Salty and Savage here. I'm Savage.
I'm salty.
He's so salty.
I'm drinking some Murphy's and getting my vitamins, dude.
Ooh, very nice. I'm drinking some nice Midwestern, probably like, I don't know, cow urine or something. I don't know. Some crazy stuff happening in the news today. So Salty and I are both, came from the entertainment industry. He's still very much in a part of it, working in comic books and drawing and doing all the things the creative things that he does.
The things.
We understand the nature of working hard at your creative craft, and then maybe like having something kind of like stolen out from underneath you, or your ideas taken and or whatever it was. The creative industry is tough, and it's it's cutthroat. It came from a little place. I mean, this is to see where the creative industry kind of started. Here's an just a quick little snippet of an interesting video that I found. This is how they made the sounds when these guys were making Dumbo back in 1941. This is what they had to go through. This is the creative process these people had to go through just to make the sounds. Check this out for a sec.
2, 3, 4.
All aboard! All aboard!
So these are all these crazy, unique things they use. Foley artists that use all sorts of fascinating instruments to make the sounds that you think are the sounds of things like doors opening or closing or whatnot. And this in particular is Disney. And these people put a lot of hard work into this, as did the animators for the stuff, for the film. But currently there are ways that you can kind of get around needing to actually be creative, and it's called AI, and it's something that we know a lot about here on the Salty and Savage Show. We have a book that we advertise constantly. Buy my book, which features AI, and I'm not gonna lie, if you go ahead and cruise through the Salty and Savage YouTube page and check through a lot of those thumbnails, there might be a couple of them that use
correct. Let's be honest, most of them are AI.
Oh, it might be most of them.
Most of them are AI because it takes like all of 5 minutes to do them.
But so currently there's a big deal happening where Disney and Universal are now suing an AI company for copyright infringement and what they're calling now, the future of entertainment. So a battle is raging between copyright holders, and it's the first major lawsuit between a Hollywood studios and an AI company. The AI company is MidJourney. Salty, what AI do you like to use normally?
MidJourney.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great? Oh,
I like MidJourney because it's easy. It's basically utilizing Stable Diffusion, which Stable Diffusion, in my opinion, still like image wise is really robust. It's the easiest to use, I think, but it's still challenging because AI is not intelligence.
It's not intelligent.
It's memory. All it is memory. And let's get into this article though, because I have opinions and I'm a hypocrite. So
okay, yeah, of course. We all know you're a hypocrite, so it's fine. No. But the idea being that Disney and Universal, they own the copyright for giant franchises like Pixar and Star Wars and Marvel and Despicable Me, and they basically, MidJourney, as with many other AI companies, has basically trained their AI on these images and these movies and these various copyright covered properties, something like that. So this is the first major lawsuit to happen for something like this. Huge studios, Disney, who we criticize constantly, and Universal, who we just avoid talking about easily. They're now both suing MidJourney, this beautiful, incredible
two companies
AI
that I've worked for in my past.
There you
worked
go.
at Disney and worked for Universal on quite a few things. So I do find this interesting. Was there any more details to the lawsuit? Or was that article seemed pretty vague though, right?
Well,
Like,
there's okay. So the lawsuit is basically just to they've just sued them. So I think the action is just taken. Um, because let's see, it's sort of a blah blah blah. Yes, blah blah blah. The resulting images don't come from vacuum. AI models are trained by ingesting millions of words and images from across a thing. The data. So the AI companies claim that their generators are spitting out entirely new creations. That the training data and it falls under fair use, according to copyright law. Now, we love to really loosely use fair use.
we don't
But
actually
but
know.
we
I
also
disagree. I must
we
take umbrage
also
with you. No,
we
no, no,
also
no.
know what it is though. No, we
We don't
understand.
lose on this show. We are very good at sticking to fair use and not abusing fair use. I think that studios like Universal abuse fair use or abuse copyright laws and trample on free speech and fair use quite often. However, I think this is different.
I mean, so here we have an AI generated version of a Wookiee type individual, and then we have the OG Chewbacca right there, which is, I'm not gonna lie, the AI version looks a little better.
How dare you?
But
Just because it has better lighting, it's more artistic.
so the lawsuit frames the issue as a matter of good versus evil. MidJourney is a bottomless pit of plagiarism. Ooh, that's good. The AI industry advocates counter that legacy media companies are standing in the way of technological advances. Oh, okay. So MidJourney didn't respond when asked for comment.
That was a nice sidestep. That was if that's their response. So their response is, because here's the thing about Stable Diffusion that a lot of people that are advocates for AI kind of ignore and kind of sidestep, and that is how the algorithms were created or developed or trained, and that was through copying. So I mean, so one could argue now that MidJourney it no longer copies because now it's just using algorithms. It's it's mathematics essentially at the end of the day.
It is all ones and zeros.
Yeah, it's all ones. But however, how it got to where it's at now, so it's not copying now. It's just using basically its own memory, its own algorithms that have been developed. But how it got to those memories,
it did have to watch
data.
It had to watch all those Disney movies just like we did.
Well, it copied everything. It copied. That's why, like early on MidJourney, when people were trying to like duplicate other artists, signatures were coming up in the art, watermarks of photographs were coming up in the art.
Oh, right,
like,
because
there were literal like Getty Images, like watermarks appearing on early runs of Stable Diffusion and MidJourney. So it was copying. I mean, that's just it got to where it's at now by copying. So this lawsuit, I think, is actually long overdue. But I don't know if it's going to be. It's going to be interesting. What I find disappointing is that the only people that are going to be protected from AI and AI kind of gobbling up, people's work and kind of taking people's work and recycling people's work. The only people that are going to be protected from that at the end are going to be large corporations, large studios, individual people that are out there posting their stuff on social media.
Yeah,
they've signed their rights away by agreeing to the terms of service, and I think that is where that's the real problem. I think at the end of the day is that the regular guy, their thoughts, their expressions, their art is just being gobbled up by AI with no compensation whatsoever.
Yeah, because you don't have representation. You all of a sudden are just and you're just putting your stuff out there on social media. You're just trying to be somebody. It's now fodder for the machine.
Yeah, and I'm a big time I'm normally like a pretty free market guy. Like I definitely advocate for more of an Austrian perspective. However, this is new ground. I don't know exactly where I would align myself But I do think, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, number one, I am very anti universal basic income. I think that is immoral. You don't pay people to sit around and do nothing. I think that's bullcrap. However, I would argue and say that a free market solution for AI and for these tech companies doing what they're doing that would be moral. Because at the end of the day, I always want to go for freedom, but I also want to go for what's the most moral thing. And I think a universal basic income paid by companies like,
paid by
MidJourney,
the companies that are making the millions off of all the bullshit that you're putting out there.
Like, if you're part of the system of the algorithm, you should be getting compensated for your time, essentially, is what I'm advocating
free
for.
internet.
I mean, people, that's communism. I'm like, you sign terms of services. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It just, honestly,
for the amount of stuff that what they're actually getting in the end is so different than what we think is happening.
I feel like people are financing these companies. People are batteries. They are in the matrix. We are in the matrix. We are plugged into the machine, willingly or unwillingly. I mean, try not being on social media and getting a job, getting an interview, being able to function in society. Good luck. It's just not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
I don't know, man. It's definitely, it's gonna be interesting in the future. I do, however, think that ultimately, at the end of the day, it's gonna be good. But I will say, AI will be our Tower of Babel.
Is the AI? So it's,
you didn't even let that settle. AI will be our Tower of Babel. Let it simmer. Think about it for a second.
No, I got it. It's very clever. How's that working out for you?
Well, I don't know how it's going to work out for all of us, but I think it's going to cause more division than it's going to than anything. I don't think it's going to be a unifying force at all. I think it's going to be more so than even social media has been divisive, I think, or divisive. I heard it both ways. I think AI is going to be even more divisive.
It's because it's now everyone's putting it everywhere. Before it's like before the technology is proven, they're like, we're already putting it in everything. It's in your car now. It's doing this, it's doing that. And yeah, we're definitely feeding the monster, and it's just a matter of what's going to come from this. My question to you is actually, so if MidJourney, if these things aren't feeding off of the copyright material anymore, they're feeding off basically everything else, though, right? Like just everything that isn't copywritten is now in the mass, which includes you and all of your stuff and all of your art that's out there. And if it's just on a web page, probably from Indiegogo, even if your images are on Indiegogo, they're probably being sucked into one of the AI models.
I use Adobe products. I have to manually click every time I even update, download a new program from Adobe. I got to manually click for AI not to sample my work. So even people that are like, this is the crazy thing, and I'm wondering, the article didn't cover this, but like Disney, they use Adobe like almost exclusively for like a lot of their work, a lot of the work that they do. And how is that working with the fact that Adobe is monitoring what you do on your program, because it's now all in the cloud? It's it's a cloud-based app, subscription-based app, and that they're training their AI models off of the work that people are doing. It's kind of it's crazy, man. It's just the level of, it's, I don't know, dude. The morality is getting really, really muddy and really, really gray, and I can see it going bad really fast, man.
Oh, easily. I mean, and whether it's the AI companies going, having way too much ability and control and reach, or the corporations going against them, because already those corporations, just before this AI even happened, the entertainment industry took a big dump on its employees. They just cut and ran with thousands and thousands of people, like all in preparation for this. They're like, you know what? We just realized that we're going to make people work harder. And also pretty soon we're going to have like tools that are really going to help us out. The article even mentions that production companies are already using AI for pre-production brainstorming and special effects for on-screen images. And so it's like these companies are using some of these same products, like
Yeah.
you were saying.
So here's I think that so the good thing about AI, I mean, there is a lot of good about AI. One thing that is great about AI is that it empowers smaller creators, it empowers smaller teams, it empowers people with a smaller budget. It actually is a really great tool for, you know, independent studios, independent guys like you and I think where it's going to not like, and I think AI works really, really well when AI is used to take over repetitious and mundane tasks. So, like an animation, like tween animation, doing the cell drawing. Obviously, they don't do cell animation that much anymore. But a lot of the manual, there's a lot of work that's repetitious and mundane and laborious that goes into animation. And AI has been being used. And I can't talk. I need more drink, but it's being used to kind of supplement that work and to kind of streamline and make it more efficient to get things done, which is great. That's the good part. Where I think it's bad is when I hear things like, "Oh, they're using AI to ideate. They're using AI to brainstorm." Because I'm like,
to write the scripts or write
AI is not intelligence. Like, that's the thing. Artificial intelligence is not at the point right now where it's intelligence. It is memory. That's all it is. It is memory. So what I like, it's like the movie Multiplicity. All you're going to end up seeing is like the 15th version of Michael Keaton is going to be retarded.
She touched my peppy, Steve.
Yeah, like
she touched
it's
my peppy.
not. I just don't see. I just going to see the copy of 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 the copy, which I'm not surprised that these big studios are doing, because anybody that's worked with these big studios the last like 2 decades, these people are so, like, the executives at the executive level, the people like making the decisions,
Dude,
are already so unimaginative and kind of just basic and dumb. They can't even you can't even sit in a room and have a conversation about ideas and like, what if the planet was like this, and like they have to see it. They're like, show me a picture, show me something that's already been created, so that I can understand what you're talking about, because they're so I don't even know, they're low intelligent people. And really, at the end of the day, what this is an argument for is Trump's tariffs and getting rid of income tax, so that we can bring all the manufacturing jobs back to the United States, so that these morons running studios that are trying to be creative are forced out and go manage factories that make widgets, because that's what they're good at.
That's what
they need to get out of my industry of the creative field, because they're making everything terrible. And AI is empowering them in a way just enough to edge everyone else out. But long term, everything is gonna end up looking the same, like it already does.
It already does. And every time someone tries to change it, you're like, oh, wait, just wait a couple weeks, just wait a month. It's just back to the same thing. Nothing, everything stays the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. We could keep going on and on, but we probably should wrap it up. And basically, AI is good and bad.
Oh, it's so good and so bad. It's just like I don't know, alcohol maybe, or
it's like guns.
Women.
It's like guns. In the hands of good people, they're used for fun and awesome. In the hands of bad people, it's used for bad things. Don't be an asshole. But, you know, corporations, giant corporations, tech corporations, studios, they're always going to end up being jerks, because they have too much control and power and influence. And the rules and laws never seem to apply to them.
They never do.
Yeah,
they never do. All right, we're going to shut it down. This is Salty and Savage. In the meantime, we'll plug a couple things real quick. I got Beard Balm. The link will be in the description.
It's so good.
Get the Beard Balm. And the AI is, of course, a kind of a fountainhead for this show, really. We'll just go ahead and drop this little trailer on you. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yeah, man.